All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Lisette, and I'm the First Gen Psychologist. And welcome to the first ever YouTube segment for the First Gen Psychologist. First of all, I realized I didn't say that. My pronouns are she, her, ella. And if you can't tell, I'm so excited to be here. Today's segment will be covering a really important topic, and it will be around self love. Before I get into that, I just want to share with you all the purpose of this series. So the purpose of this series is continued my passion of destigmatizing mental health, particularly for the first gen community. We will have topics also for personal development and empowerment for the first gen community. And so excited for those of you who join us live, and also for those of you who join us a little bit after and watch the replay. Please share. All right. So being Valentine's Day, we're doing self-love. So the topic is healing to reignite your self-love. How to begin breaking generational patterns around love and relationships. Our guest is Lisa Velazquez, and I am a huge fan of Lisa because during the pandemic, I attended one of her virtual workshops that really helped me with healing from a breakup. And you know what, Lisa, I don't think I've shared this with you. I want to share this with you on here. I'm actually engaged now. And so I was engaged. I'm getting married this year in September. And so my love journey, I swear, I always say that, Lisa really helped me with my healing. And so that's why I always like having her here. And I'm in the happiest, healthiest relationship I've ever been in. So it's very, yes. So let me share a little bit about her. So first, she's a self-love coach, dating and relationship expert, and certified sex educator. So let me share a little bit more. Lisa Velazquez helps the high-achieving modern woman heal from toxic relationships to glow up and reclaim her powerful, sexy self. She is the founder of Lisa Talks Love, where she is a self-love coach, dating and relationship expert, and certified sex educator. In case you forgot, so make sure you remember. Lisa has an intuitive gift for getting to the heart of the matter of what's blocking you on your love journey. Her passion for self-love and sensuality from the inside out has led her on a mission to cultivate a community of aligned women around the world who live well, date wise, and love sexy. I love your intro. Okay, Lisa, so how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Congratulations on finding that love you desire from a place of self-love. I'm just so happy to just contribute to your journey and so happy you're feeling fulfilled and aligned and grateful to be here with you and so happy to support your community on this topic. Happy Valentine's Day.
I know. Yes, and cheers to that with my green juice that I have to be very careful with as I was sharing with you.
I just have my water, got to keep it clear for the
Stay
speaking.
hydrated. That's one step for self-love. You know, before we get into it, I want to share. I have a goddaughter. She's 4 years old. I saw her this weekend and I asked her, "Do you want to be my Valentine?" And she gave me this strange look. And I sat there and I was confused. And then I realized, wait, does she know what this is? And I asked her, I'm like, Mila, do you know what a Valentine is? She's like, no. And so it was this beautiful moment where I had to think, how do you explain the significance of this day to a 4-year-old, right? Because to me, it is about self-love. It's about love. And so to her, I say, for me, Valentine's Day is about celebrating the love in your life, the love for yourself and the love for people who love you. So then I asked her again, Mila, will you be my Valentine? She said yes.
Oh, that is such a
And so
beautiful story and a great
it's
way to teach children
mhm,
about self-love, right? And I
mhm,
always think about, the commercialization of the holiday has
yeah.
made people feel like if they're not in a committed romantic relationship,
Mhm.
right, or if they haven't achieved those goals in that particular relationship they may be in, that this is not a great day to celebrate. But it's a great day to celebrate because, like you said, it's about the love we have in our lives. I always call this day a self-love check-in, right?
Oh, I know that.
For me, it's a self-love check-in. I call it my own personal holiday. So, I'll do a Galentine's thing. If I'm in a relationship, I'll go out on a date. Or there are times I'm like, this is a date just for me. I'm so excited about this day. So it's really important to tap into the love, right? And I feel like it's really important that we take it back. And I love how you brought it with the children because if we think like a child, right? Think about not knowing what that is and coming from a place of we can create what this day is for us, right? We can create starting with ourselves. And it was sweet that once she understood it, she received it from you.
Yes, yes. I was like, I wanted to share that. It's such a special moment. So as we're talking about self-love, let's talk a little bit more about it. Lisa, what does it mean to you and why is it important?
Wow, so many things. So for me, the definition of self-love, because
Yeah.
there's so many things out there, but I start with the definition and I go from there. So for me, it is the maturity and wisdom to be able to make decisions on your own behalf that are impacting your deepest emotional, mental, and physical well-being, right? I think it's the wisdom from the lessons we learned on our life journey. And then it's also you need to have a little maturity to make better decisions, right? You get to a place where when you're a kid, you want to eat all your Halloween candy, but is that a good idea? Right? But
Mhm.
as you grow older, you know, and as you mature, I don't think it's going to be smart for me to eat all of that when I know that's not a proper meal, right? And in relationships, and as you're dating and on your journey,
Mhm.
right? It's like, is it smart to be with someone that we don't want the same things? And I know I want something serious and healthy, but they just still want to be out here single without having commitments. You have to be able to make those decisions. And if you're single and you're loving on yourself, as you should be when you're in a relationship as well,
Mhm.
I think it's really important to look at maybe I need to say no to these plans when I've known I had a really busy week, when I know I'm overwhelmed and exhausted and burned out. Maybe canceling is self love today, right?
Mhm.
And people who love me and care about me will understand when I say no, I'm saying yes to myself and I'm being healthy versus showing up as being burnt out and not my best self and not honoring myself.
You know, Lisa, I love what you said at the end. Saying no to them means saying yes to myself. Saying no to the other plan, saying yes to myself, because I think especially within the first gen community, it can feel really hard to say yes to ourselves because it can feel selfish. And I think that might be a good segue to talking about the common generational patterns around love and relationships, because that's definitely one I've witnessed in myself and also in the many of the clients who I work with, where prioritizing yourself feels very selfish. And it doesn't feel like an act of self love.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're taught that what love is sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So because our parents who weren't born here sacrificed, they came to give us a better lives. Our love needs to look like sacrifice. But unfortunately, that can be to our detriment, right? And I want to give people tools for actually looking at, I'm going to use my way of doing self love. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, self love are two things for me. Self love is my ground, it's my anchor,
Mm-hmm.
and it is my compass.
Yes.
So it's really important to look at, okay, when I am grounded in self love, when I am grounded
Mm-hmm.
in honoring and respecting myself,
Mm-hmm.
I can lead myself with the compass from there, right? It's really important that you start understanding when you have self love and you know who you are and you accept yourself, you
Yeah.
are able to lead yourself to make better decisions, to engage with people who are healthier to be around.
Yeah.
You become healthier to be around
Mhm.
because if you're grounded in who you are, in your self respect and your self acceptance, right? It's important to look at, okay, that is what
Mhm.
leads me to make these decisions, to go to different places in my life, to make better choices. But when you are ungrounded, right,
Mhm.
where are you going to be led? Anywhere, especially with what's not good for you, with someone else's agenda who may not have your best interest at heart. So you
Mhm.
look at self-love being an anchor and a compass. So how are you grounding? How are you grounded in your self-love? You
Yeah.
know, what are the ways that you are led by that self-love? What is the compass?
Yes, yes. And so in going back, I wanted to reiterate what you shared is that sometimes we're taught that love is a lot of self-sacrifice
Yes.
instead of recognizing that love, I love the way it's hard. I was like, I love the way you phrase it, is self-love is your anchor. Once you feel and understand and are grounded in the love that you have for yourself, the way that I interpreted that is you better understand what you deserve in your life. And you deserve so much so much happiness, so much like loving in your life, so much joy. I think of community and all of the blessings that make us feel so special. We deserve all of that. And sometimes it's hard to feel that, right? So I think that was one of the patterns that you mentioned in giving sort of these tips. Uh, before we move on, I wanted to ask you, have you noticed any other patterns maybe in the women who you've worked with, or other folks you've worked with, around what makes it hard for them to start their self-love journey?
Absolutely. I want to even dig a little bit deeper
Okay,
into
yeah.
the patterns
Okay, yeah.
because it's going to segue us there. And
Okay.
okay, so two of the patterns that I see more than anything
Mhm.
is that there is this unconscious replication of the love patterns from parental figures, right?
Mhm.
You literally do not know that you are repeating the same exact pattern, right? You're repeating the way a parent gave love and did relationships that you may have realized consciously was unhealthy, but because the behavior was done in front of you at such a young age, you don't realize you actually embodied that behavior later on because that was
Mhm.
what you were taught. So it's really the question to ask yourself, who taught you how to love and what were the examples that they set? So really starting to ask yourself that question, but I've seen more than anything, there is this replication of those behaviors. The second thing that I've noticed more than anything with clients that I've worked with and just people in my life, just it's across the board. So when you're doing the work with clients, you're going to see it, but it's everywhere around you, is that what they'll do is there is this unconscious behavior, like you're not even conscious that you're doing it, that you are actually trying to receive the love that you didn't receive from one of your parental figures. And that could be a guardian as well, right? Because not everyone is raised by their parents. And that's something really important to understand. So you may be replicating that a behavior to try to get love from that person throughout with each person that you date, even if the person was very unhealthy towards you.
Mhm.
There's this, I can fix this. So there's this idea, especially with high
Mhm.
achieving women, that I can make this work. I can fix this, right? And if you're a child of immigrants, there's, I can make this work. You know, I know things can be hard, but I'm tough and I'm strong and I can do this. So
Mhm.
there's this thing where we think we need to fix when we are loving, sacrifice and fixing. And it's really something that I see more common than anything. It's always trying to retrace and heal the same scenario over and over instead of recognizing you can let those things go and you can create new love commitments and new love patterns that are healthy for you.
Yes, as you were sharing these, I kept thinking about how in relationships, when the goal is, oh, I need to fix this person, there's this also, I guess, fear of failure, right?
Yes.
If I don't make it work, then I failed. I have failed myself. I have failed others who view me as a person who can do hard things. And so realizing that in life, there are difficult experiences, but there are certain experiences that do not need to be that difficult. They do not need to be that hard. And these are our relationships, our closest relationships. We should feel very fulfilled by them, whether that's our platonic, our friendships, our romantic partners, our familiar relationships. Those relationships that are fulfilling are what nourish our souls. And when they're not fulfilling and I feel like they're depleting, they're like sucking our souls away. And we are not ourselves. We are not ourselves in those moments.
I'm so glad that you said that, because that is the piece. When I support clients and I, evaluate them in this love discovery sessions to understand where they are, it's really important to look at, ask yourself this question, right? If you're here right now watching this live, if you're watching the replay, I want you to ask yourself, do you feel like yourself in the relationship? Are you safe to be fully expressed as who you are in that relationship? Or are you shrinking who you are to exist in the relationship, to have the partner?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. We don't need anything else. Are you yourself in this relationship? And if you don't know who you are, then maybe that's not the relationship for you, right? If you feel so lost in that. And so I think this is a great transition into The third question that I have for you today, which is, what consejos or advice do you have for those interested in breaking these generational patterns around love and relationship? How do people start?
Definitely starting with asking that question, do
Mhm.
you feel safe? I find that when we're dealing with ourselves, that's a very important question to have to ask,
Yeah.
because if you don't feel safe, celebrated and fully expressed to be who you are in a relationship, that's something where you get to look at, wait a second, I feel like that. That sounds like my scenario. And as you look at that, right, are you prioritizing when you have that revelation and when you realize you don't feel safe, are you
Mhm.
skirting that away and saying, well, I want to be in this relationship, I've been with this person so long, why are you selling yourself short? That's my question for you. But I would also recommend working with a therapist, right,
Mhm.
who is socially conscious. You want to that's open to culture and understanding where you're coming from, because there are a lot of societal and cultural experiences that we have that need to be addressed to support you through your healing journey. You can also work with a self-love coach. I'm available, and it's something that I
Mhm.
always bring up with my clients, understanding those things with them. But it's important that you take the time to work with someone that's going to support you to do that. But always start with that self-inquiry that I just recommended, about how do you feel with this person? How do you feel in this relationship? And if you're not in a relationship, think about the last 5 dating scenarios you've been in. Really
Mhm.
ask yourself what they were like. You didn't have to be in a relationship to have romantic experiences.
Mhm.
And if you're single and you're dealing with, maybe you're having issues around family, maybe there's boundaries that are not being respected when you set them. And that's an important thing to look at and to work with a therapist to help you unpack that stuff. I know Dr. Lisette is amazing at that. And it's important to look at how you can be supported. You deserve to have the support to have a healthy self love, to reignite your self love. So do yourself a favor and please, tap into professionals in your network that can support you to have that healing that you're looking for to get back to a place of self love.
Yes. Yeah. So the reflective exercises, professionals as they are accessible to you. I know sometimes individuals are in a space where they may not necessarily be able to access therapy. And so in those moments, it's journaling, it's finding building their supportive network. In
Absolutely.
that hearing, like you said, do I feel safe? Do you feel safe in certain friendships in your life where you can reach out and saying, hey, I'm feeling a bit I'm having a hard time. Can I be vulnerable with you? Can I talk to you about some things going on? Just sometimes just having someone to listen, not necessarily have to problem solve for you, but just listen to help you feel seen can really help jumpstart that journey of reigniting that self
Yes,
love.
absolutely. And I will say, like, for me, I tap into my friends. I
Mhm.
think it's important, as if they're therapists watching this, right? And coaches, are you tapping into your community, and everyone as a whole, tap into your community and double check on those friendships and see if they're healthy. That's another evaluation to do. Just,
Mhm.
talking on what you just said, I think it's really important that you can do a self-love evaluation with all your relationships. It doesn't have to be just your romantic. It's very important to look at, are these friendships healthy for me or not? Who can I speak to and who is not safe to speak to? I can't stop talking about safety. I think it's just so important with emotions. And, I think that it's important to check in with that. And then we also celebrate Galentine's Day around this time of the year as well. I think it might have been yesterday, but it's also a great time to celebrate those things. And I just love the support of being vulnerable with the people in our lives.
Yes, yes. And so the big theme here is safety, right? When we think about generational patterns that make it difficult for us to be connected with ourselves and love and loving others, the biggest one is recognizing how safe do I feel in this relationship? And that may not necessarily mean that you felt unsafe in your environment you were growing up in necessarily, but something about relationships created a lack of safety for you. And so, it could have been within the school setting, it could have been in other environments, but that happens. And so, really needing to take that time to reflect and work through it. And Lisa, you shared some awesome resources, finding a therapist. I always have to plug in Latinx therapy as a great directory for folks looking for a therapist. to work with them. I may have an opening. I need to double check. I tend to have a wait list, which I'm very blessed for. But so that's why I love Latinx therapy. But for folks who may be interested in working with you, Lisa, share a little bit about how can people work with you? How can they contact you?
Sure. I just want to let everyone know that you can follow me on Instagram at Lisa Talks Love. That's the social platform I'm the most active on right now. And also, if you want to work with me and look at, where you are in your love life right now and where you want to be and how I could support you to get there, you can book a love discovery call with me. It's complimentary. It's 20 minutes. And to see if, we're a fit and I can support you on your self-love journey. And I'll give Dr. Lisette the link to that so you can schedule that. And I hope to support you in reclaiming your powerful, sexy self.
I love that so much. Reclaim your powerful, what was it? Live well, date wise, love sexy, powerful, sexy self. So thank you so much, Lisa, for being on here with me today. I love to keep these brief, so they're good little nuggets of wisdom for everyone. I hope you all, if you're watching this replay, please DM me with any advice, any with the questions you may have, or DM Lisa if you have any questions. Take advantage of the fact that she offers these complimentary sessions to learn more if this could be a great fit to help you sort of jumpstart this, or what did we say? Reignite your self-love.
Yes.
Because you need to be anchored before you start figuring out where you're going and following that compass.
Absolutely. I forgot one more thing.
Yes.
I just want to let everyone know I am hosting a free workshop. Yes. On February 23rd. That's Thursday, February 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's 10 blind spots that keep the high achieving woman from the love life she wants.
All right, so I'll make sure when we get that link, I'll make sure to share that so that people can sign up, because that is an excellent, amazing resource. It's free, so it's accessible as long as you have access to internet, a mobile device, or something to stream it on. And so thank you so much again, Lisa. Thank you all who are joined us live and who are watching the replay. Please share with anyone who you think may benefit from watching this, and have a beautiful day, everyone.
Thank you.